Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done watching, for the very first time, The Mask of Zorro, courtesy of Amazon Prime. Every once in a while, I remember that I have Amazon Prime. This is a 1998 film directed by Martin Campbell. How did I not know that Martin Campbell directed this? Here's a film that I was aware of, obviously being the kid of the 90s, growing up in the 90s, but I just, for whatever reason, didn't watch it. And also, it's kind of weird that I haven't gone back to watch it in all of this time. It stars Antonio Banderas as Alejandro. You see that when he was a child, him and his brother, they came into contact and they witnessed Zorro, the legend of Zorro, right? A man who is Zorro. He's doing what he does best, and he's saving the people of California, even though they're all from Mexico. And he's going up against the evil dictator that's ruling over them. And then we jump ahead some years later. Obviously, that original Zorro, something happened with him. He's not around anymore. So Antonio Banderas takes up the mantle, and he becomes the new generation of Zorro. What I thought of The Mask of Zorro was, I was impressed and surprised by how much I enjoyed this film. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I figured maybe I'd think it's okay, maybe, or I just wouldn't like it, but I was instantly hooked and intrigued from the beginning, where you see it's in fact Anthony Hopkins who plays the original Zorro, doing these stunts and these action sequences that obviously only the 90s, it seemed like the 90s were some of the last big budgeted movies that didn't overly rely on CGI and didn't go over the top with the special effects. It's just a guy doing stunts, having fight scenes, and throughout this movie there's great choreography with the fighting. I think I was enamored with the stunt work. Anthony Hopkins, obviously he's good in the movie. Like I said, he's the original Zorro, and he ends up training Antonio Banderas into being a new Zorro, hopefully a better Zorro. I couldn't help, though, as soon as I saw Anthony Hopkins, and I saw him with his brown skin, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. Anthony Hopkins is not Mexican. What are we doing here? He's not even Spanish. Apparently he's Welsh. I don't even know. I just thought he was a white guy, but even so, it's just like, I don't know. I guess originally Sean Connery was supposed to play this part. Oh boy, I don't think that's any better. And granted, Hopkins is good in the role. He's obviously a great mentor figure in any film that you see him in, and he's viable, he's believable in what his character went through, the downfall of his Zorro with his daughter and whatnot. So I like the character. I couldn't help but think, if this movie was made today, yeah, casting like this, that shit ain't flying whatsoever. At least Antonio Banderas is in the lead title role. He's obviously really good. It's amazing how Antonio Banderas, maybe I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody could correct me, but it feels like he's one of the first Hispanic actors that was able to translate into a big action star in the US, in the States. This is a guy that throughout the 90s was in a bunch of big budgeted action films, and he became a household name, and you know who Antonio Banderas is by his name. And I think the charisma that he shows here, the leading man chops that he possesses, and the good looks. I'm not gonna lie, he is a good looking dude, so you could see why he has that appeal. And it was nice. It was nice that at least this is the one casting that we can go along with. Elena is played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. She ends up being the daughter of Anthony Hopkins, who was taken as a baby by the villain, so she doesn't know that Hopkins is her real father. I like Catherine Zeta-Jones. I mean, wow. This is going to make me sound like I'm superficial and I'm only looking at one thing when it comes to her, but she is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. Every time she showed up on screen, it felt like this woman was glowing. I guess I should talk about her acting as well. She was good in her character as far as not realizing what side of the story she's supposed to be on. Having her attraction to Zorro, sure, she ends up just being the eye candy and love interest on that part. But I did like the scene where she has a sword fight with him and she sort of proves that she could stand, that she is capable in her own right. Obviously, you have the moment where she gets her shirt cut up and she's there naked. Her hair's covering everything. So don't get too excited. The villain, the main villain, Raphael, is played by Stuart Wilson. Which I'm sitting here talking about Anthony Hopkins being cast. This is a British guy who's supposed to be like a Hispanic villain character. It's kind of ridiculous, especially throughout the film. At least there is another villain, Captain Love, who is played by Matt Letcher. I recognized this actor, but it wasn't until I looked him up where I said, oh, he played Reverse Flash on The Flash TV show. And his character, he did so much messed up things, even I'd argue more messed up than Raphael. And I wanted to see him die a horrible, horrible death. But the movie makes you wait a whole goddamn long time to see him and Zorro finally go toe-to-toe. I had a blast. I enjoyed the film. You could tell that it was a 98 blockbuster, just as far as the thrills and suspense and the action and the story. It's over 2 hours long, but I didn't find myself being bored. I might have felt the length a little bit towards the end, but I was into it. I was looking forward to seeing where everything turned into, where it played out. I would recommend this. If you haven't seen The Mask of Zorro, I would definitely say it's a fun watch. I'm glad that I was able to check this out. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of The Mask of Zorro? Have you seen it as well? Do you like it? Should I check out the sequel, The Legend of Zorro? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!